everyone, it's Shannon. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button because you'll find new DIYs, tutorials, and new inspiration here every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Today I have 3 farmhouse decor pieces that we are going to basically upcycle. I found all 3 of these items at the Hobby Lobby's 75% off sale, so they need just a little bit of work to bring them back to life. So let's go ahead and get started on the transformations. So these are the 3 items that I found at the 75% off sale at Hobby Lobby. Mine really did not have much. It basically just had like one side of an aisle, and a lot of it wasn't even really decor stuff. It was more like floral stuff. So this is what I was able to find and thought, you know, if I did a little bit of work to them, they actually would be really, really great pieces. So this first one, I'm obsessed with lanterns. I would have lanterns all over the place if I could, and I love this one because it has a wood bottom. This one was normally $22. I got it for $5.49. I also found this sugar mold. I actually have never ever had a sugar mold. I really wanted an authentic one, but when I saw this one, it's normally $25. And on clearance, it was $6.24. I went ahead and grabbed it. And then this last piece is really, really pretty. It's a metal frame, house shaped, with the floating glass look in it. This was normally $22 and I was able to pick this up for $5.49. So my plan for this lantern that I'm gonna work on first is to remove the glass. I would really like to put some greenery in the bottom so that it can kind of hang out the sides and sort of make a wreath on the inside that I can set a candle in. So I have some work gloves here, and this lantern just has little tabs that holds the glass in place. So I'm gonna use my work gloves and pull those tabs back to remove the glass. And then they actually packaged the lantern in some packing paper and a bag for me to carry home. So I saved that so I can put all of the glass into the packing and in the bag so I can dispose of it without it being a danger. All right, so these had those little tabs on them, so it was super easy. I just used my knife to kind of pop them away from the glass and get them started so I could use my gloves to pry them up all the way and remove the glass. And then one of the tabs just popped off on its own, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do that to all of them so you don't see all of these tabs on the inside when it's all finished. So I just pushed those back and forth and they popped right off for me. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue doing that to the rest of the lantern. All right, so here's the lantern with all of the glass taken out. I did have some trouble getting those tabs out because they're in the corner and that channel runs all the way around. So I just pushed those as flat as I could get them, and hopefully they're not too noticeable. I also thought about adding a rope handle to the tops, just sort of tying it around because there's this empty space up here now that you could add a handle to, but I'm afraid it's gonna give it more of a coastal look than a farmhouse look, so I'm gonna go and do without that. But I am gonna go ahead and add this. This is a lamb's ear garland from Hobby Lobby that I cut down for another project, and so this is the leftover, and I'm gonna cut this down once I get it sized to fit on the inside of the lantern, and I'll just pop this candle that was from Hobby Lobby a long time ago into the center of that. All right, so here it is. I love that now that we've taken the glass out, that this garland has some room to sort of flow out and breathe, whereas if I left the glass in there, it would all be scrunched up against the glass and look smushed. So now it has much more of a simple look, and absolutely love it. So pretty for a mantle or a centerpiece. And now we're going to work on this glass frame. The cool thing about this is it actually opens, so it has a hinge on the side, so you can switch whatever you want in and out of this frame. And I've seen some really cool flower art on the internet lately. However, that takes a lot of time. So if you're going to do fresh flowers, you can absolutely do that. And to do that, what you need to do is get fresh flowers. You're going to dry them off with a paper towel. Then you want to put newspaper down, put the flowers on top of that, put newspaper on top, pretty much sandwich your flowers in newspaper, and then you're gonna put it in a really heavy book and then weigh that book down, and you wanna let that sit for about 2 weeks. That way your flowers can dry and then you can put it into your frame. However, I don't necessarily have 2 weeks. I wanna go ahead and get this video up for you guys. So an alternative to that is doing some florals that are just artificial. So these are stems that are left over from my fall decor. They're eucalyptus from Hobby Lobby, and then this is more of that lamb's ear that I used in the lantern. But this is from a different floral piece that I took apart, and these were actually in my Christmas tree, so I've saved all of those. And what we're gonna do is use these to sandwich into this frame. I'm gonna kind of display them in a nice way so they're nice and pretty and farmhousey, using the eucalyptus and the lamb's ear. But before I can get started with that, I need to do some work on this frame. There are some stickers on here and I need to get those off. So I have a razor blade, I'm gonna get my Goo Gone out, and I have my glass cleaner here. We're gonna get it all cleaned up and ready to add the flower art into. Alright, so I have it open and it's all cleaned up, and now we can add the greenery to it. The thing about the artificial flowers is that there is veining in them, which is basically just plastic to give it that more of a 3D natural look. So basically what we have to do is just peel the leaves away from those veins, and that way we will get a nice flat leaf. So I just had fun playing around with overlapping and arranging them. And all I have to do is close this up, and then I'm going to take my glass cleaner and clean the outside one more time. And now for the sugar mold. I don't necessarily like the black, and the back is damaged, but the front looks really, really nice. So what I'm gonna do is actually give this a whitewashed faux weathered wood look instead of the black. So the first thing I need to do is I have gray chalk paint here in the color Elephant by Waverly, and white. So the first thing this thing needs is a coat of that gray Elephant chalk paint. So here it is after one coat of the gray chalk paint, and now it's time to add the white chalk paint. And I want to do this in sort of a dry brush technique, so I'm going to just lightly brush on the white paint, sort of smear it around, move it around. It doesn't need to be perfect. We need to see some of this gray popping through. Once that first coat of white is on, then I'm going to come back in and sparingly add some more, just so it has more texture and has that faux wood finish. All right, so here it is after 2 layers of the white chalk paint, and this is the back that was damaged, and I'm actually absolutely loving the way that that all turned out. Even though it's damaged, it has that barnwood look, and so I'm gonna keep that the way it is. But the front, since it is nice and solid, I thought it'd be cute to add a grain sack print to it or stripe to it. So to do that, I'm going to use some painter's tape, and that's going to create our pattern, and then I'll come in with my dark gray chalk paint to create the stripe. Now this first layer, I did 3 stripes of tape. I did 1 down the middle, and then I added 1 on top and the bottom to make little tiny lines. So those are gonna be the side lines. And once that is dry, I'll come back in and I'll make a thicker stripe down the middle. All right, and before I paint this next stripe on, you can see through the tape where the first set of lines I drew are. So I just tried to evenly space the line from the edge of the tape on both sides. And now I'm gonna paint the stripe down the middle, and then our grain sack print will be finished. Oh, I just love how this turned out. It is such a simple little detail, but it sort of just gives this more of a custom farmhousey look. So I love that this is now double-sided, so I can use the side with the grain sack stripe, or I can use the barnwood side look. Thank you all so very much for joining me for today's tutorials. I hope they inspired you. Please give this video a thumbs up for me. And let me know down in the comments below which one of these revamps was your favorite. If you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button next to me. You'll find more great DIY tutorials in the link below that. And make sure to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram for more inspiration. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.